Hey guys, Mr. Chan here. I'm coming to you from Las Vegas. So yeah, this is my room. Oh, not my room. I'm sharing it with another two other guys, but they're not here. They're out. And tonight we are going to be doing some biology. So that's cool. That's cooler anyway. So yeah, let's get started. Screen. Okay class, so what is cellular respiration? So respiration is not breathing. Cellular respiration is, according to Wikipedia, is the set of the metabolic reactions and processes that take place in the cells of organisms to convert biochemical energy from nutrients into adenosine triphosphate and then release waste products. Do not copy down this definition. This definition's in your books. So I'm going to give you my own definition that I want you guys to copy down. But just have a look at some of these underlined key words that you want to know. So metabolic reactions. Remember we covered this in enzymes. Metabolic reactions refers to all of the reactions and processes that take place within the cell. Okay, that help it survive. So it's pretty much all of the reactions. Biochemical energy. Okay, so energy from our chemicals, and adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. You don't need to know adenosine triphosphate or how to spell it, but ATP is fine. We all know what ATP is. So if you want to use ATP as a short film, go for it. So in other words, so this is the definition that I want you to copy down. Respiration is the process used to convert oxygen and the food that we eat into usable energy. So the key word which I want you to highlight is usable energy, ATP. Of course, there's energy in a lot of things. There's energy in wood. We're not going to eat wood. We're going to burn wood. Okay? Energy in electricity, but we can't harness that energy. Well, our bodies can't right now, which is quite sad. But yes, no, we need food and we need oxygen. Okay, food and oxygen to for respiration to produce this usable energy, which is ATP. So cells obtain energy by the breakdown of carbohydrate, fat, or protein. Carbohydrate, fat, or protein. So these are what is in our food. Okay, what we eat carbohydrates, we eat fats, we eat proteins. So during respiration, these carbohydrates, these fats and proteins are broken down by catabolic enzymes to a simpler form. So one of the most simple sugars is glucose, and that is C6H12O6. So imagine glucose being like a little Lego block. Okay, so glucose is a little Lego block. If I have one little Lego block and I stick a whole heap of these Lego blocks together, okay, some might be the same, some might be slightly different, that would create a carbohydrate or fat. Now what these catabolic enzymes do is that they break down these, they pull apart these Lego blocks, they pull apart these glucose, so I have these simple units to work with, and these simple units are glucose. So this is an equation that you might have learned last year, or you might have learned in year 10, or you might have learned in year 9. So C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Remember the 2 is a small 2, that's kind of a little error, but oh well, you can fix that. Makes 6 carbon dioxide plus 6 water plus large amounts of energy. So I've got 1 glucose plus oxygen. Remember in our definition, glucose plus oxygen makes a large amount of energy plus our waste products. Our waste products are carbon dioxide, which is excreted through breathing, and water, which isn't really a waste product because normally the water is recycled for other purposes. So this energy is carried in ATP molecules. So this energy is carried in ATP molecules, adenosine triphosphate. ATP is not energy. Okay, I may have said before ATP is energy, but technically ATP is not energy. ATP is an energy carrier. So ATP carries energy within this high energy bond. So ATP is adenosine, okay, adenosine, so that's adenine and a ribose sugar. So adenosine triphosphate. So 1, 2, 3, 3 phosphates. Between the second and the last phosphate there is a high energy bond. When this bond is broken, we get energy is released, and that energy can be used by the cell. So ATP to ADP. When ATP is converted into ADP, a high energy bond is broken. This creates energy that the cell can use. So here's another little pictorial. I've got ATP, adenosine triphosphate, 3 phosphates, turn it into adenosine diphosphate, which is 2 phosphates. Di meaning 2, just like bi means 2. And in addition, we have this free phosphate ion being released as well, and energy being produced in the form of ATP. Okay. So in cells, the complete oxidation of one glucose molecule will yield 30 ATP. So this is the full equation. One glucose molecule, C6H12O6, plus 6O2. Remember that 2 in the oxygen is a small 2 because it's 6 oxygen molecules. Plus 30 ADP plus 30P. This produces 6 carbon dioxide molecules plus 6 water molecules plus 30 ATP molecules. Okay, so we're gonna let's see how much we got. Yeah, my roommate just came in, so I might cut it there. No, we're not going to cut it there. Let's just quickly rush through this. So respiration happens in 2 stages. First stage is glycolysis. So it's a whole awesome pathway. So we start off with glucose. Glucose gets turned into glucose 6-phosphate, then fructose 6-phosphate, then fructose 1,6-diphosphate, with a whole heap of enzymes. So each of these arrows represents an enzyme. And remember, we're starting off with a substrate, and that substrate becomes a product. And that product is another substrate for another enzyme, and that becomes another product. Okay, we often call the whatever's in between intermediates. So I've got glucose. Glucose is my substrate. All of these are a chain of enzymes, chain of reactions, and my product is 2 pyruvate molecules. So I've got 2 pyruvate molecules. Glucose is a 6-carbon sugar. If you had a look at the formula of glucose, it's C6H12O6. Pyruvate, it's a 3-carbon molecule. So it's only got 3 carbon. It is half of the glucose. Okay? So 6-carbon sugar gets split into 2 3-carbon sugars. So these are the notes that you need. Okay, you need these notes. You don't need the notes within the Excellence in Biology book. The notes in the Biosome book are a bit random, so try to use the notes which I give you. Glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm outside of the mitochondria, so it does not occur in the mitochondria. Glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm. One glucose molecule is broken down into 2 pyruvate molecules. This process produces 2 ATP molecules from 2 ADP plus 2P. So I've got 2 adenosine diphosphate. I add 2 phosphates to that. It produces 2 ATP molecules. Okay, so this is glycolysis. Net gain is 2 ATP molecules from 1 glucose. And I've got these 2 pyruvate molecules. Now these pyruvate molecules, they go into the second stage. So stage one was glycolysis. Stage 2 is aerobic respiration. Stage 2 comprises of the citric acid cycle, also called the TCA cycle, also called the Krebs cycle. All of these all of these cycles are accepted, so you can use either one. And the oxidative phosphorylation, okay, that is a very cool mechanism that I might tell you more about when I've got a bit more time. But anyway, you don't need to know about the details into this, you just need to know what's on the slide. So the citric acid cycle oxidative phosphorylation happens within the mitochondria. This step requires oxygen and will produce 28 ATP. So this is our summary. I've got 2 ATP, which is produced through glycolysis, and 28 ATP, which is produced through aerobic respiration. So that is 30 ATP net, so 30 ATP in total. I've got 2 ATP produced through glycolysis, 28 ATP produced through aerobic respiration. So not just respiration, I should have fixed that. It should be aerobic respiration. Okay? Cool. Now, aerobic respiration, I'll just go back here. It says 30 ATP net because those are the figures that are given to you through the excellence in biology. But in other books, it can vary. It can be between 28 ATP and 38 ATP. Okay, between 28 or 38 ATP net. Okay, this is because theoretically 38 ATP net total could be created from one glucose molecule. However, more recently we've found out that the membrane of the mitochondria actually has a lot of little gaps and perforations, and this ATP can actually either slip out or just get lost within the mitochondria and not used at all. So that's the reason why. You don't need to know the reason why, but if you state that cellular respiration produces anywhere between 28 or 38 net ATP, you will be correct. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. So anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is without oxygen. Aerobic is with oxygen. Anaerobic is without oxygen. Okay. Anaerobic respiration can do glycolysis because glycolysis doesn't need oxygen to be performed. So remember, glycolysis, it produces 2 ATP. So anaerobic respiration can produce 2 ATP, breaking down one glucose molecule into 2 pyruvate. So it can perform glycolysis. However, after you do glycolysis, you have 2 pyruvate molecules left, and they can either be converted into ethanol like in plants or yeast, or can be converted into lactic acid. This happens in humans. Okay? So, the problem with anaerobic respiration is, firstly, it's not very efficient. Only 2 ATP are produced for each glucose, instead of 28 in aerobic respiration. So that is like 1/14 of the efficiency. So it's a lot more efficient if I've got air in my body and I'm breaking down this glucose with air through aerobic respiration than through anaerobic respiration. The other problem with anaerobic respiration is that lactic acid and ethanol are slightly poisonous. Okay, so especially in humans, when we do a lot of running, do a lot of anaerobic respiration, we get this build-up of this lactic acid. And if you've ever done any kind of sports, you might have experienced like some intense like burning in your legs. That's probably a build-up of lactic acid, and you have to wait until your body can actually break down this lactic acid for it to feel better. But so what are the advantages of anaerobic respiration? The advantage is that you don't need oxygen. So maybe if you're swimming, you can't get any oxygen. You have to fight to survive. Your body will break down a whole heap of glucose through anaerobic respiration. If you are doing a 100-meter sprint, okay, and your body can't keep up with, can't produce as much energy as it can through just aerobic respiration, it will do aerobic respiration, and in addition, it will do anaerobic respiration. Okay, so you'll get the 28 ATP, okay, per glucose. But in addition to that, you could get a whole heap of these like little 2 ATPs being produced as well on the side, okay, within the cytoplasm. So that's why you might get a buildup of lactic acid if you're undergoing strenuous exercise. So I went pretty fast with this. This is actually the third time which I recorded it, and because of technical difficulties, it hasn't really gone through. So hopefully this one works, and yeah, I'll see you guys next term. I will be posting up one more video about photosynthesis. I might do this again during my Las Vegas trip, but I might do it after when I get back, depending if I get another free moment like this. So yeah, hope you're doing well. See you guys soon. Miss you. Bye.